What makes your life beautiful? My name is Karina. I was born and raised in Venezuela, and I now live in Toronto, Canada. This is a story about how the flow arts make my life beautiful by serving me as a tool to practice the spiritual path of alchemy. The story begins in the fall of 2012, when I lost the highest corporate position I had ever held up to that point in my life. At first, I felt betrayed by life. I had worked so hard in the field for many years, only to realize how disposable I am to the corporate world. After weeks of solitude and self-reflection, it became clear that I had to make a decision about the reality I wanted to create for myself in this new situation. It essentially came down to choosing between putting my attention on throwing myself back into the labor market to continue doing things I don't like doing, or placing my energy on creating a new reality filled with what I enjoy doing. So I took a leap of faith and made a decision to initiate my spiritual path of alchemy by focusing on transforming the things in my life that don't serve me well into opportunities to evolve. In the field of psychology, what I previously described is known as post-traumatic growth, which suggests that many people are able to use their hardships for substantial creative growth. In neuroscience, this change in behavior is known as neuroplasticity. It refers to changes in neural pathways and synapses, which are due to changes in behavior, environment, and neural processes. In order to initiate my spiritual path of alchemy, I needed some lab equipment that would facilitate the process. Since the flow arts were something I wanted to make a part of my life, from the moment I experienced them as an observer, I equipped myself with a pair of homemade Suckboy and very slow internet, which I call my lab tools. I then diligently watched all the beginner poi videos on Nick's website, playpoi.com, and practiced regularly for about 6 months. Learning through doing is a bittersweet process. Bitter in the beginning, but it gets sweeter and sweeter the more you stay with it. Staying with it requires no small amount of patience, focus, and resilience. It is for those who want to challenge themselves and take risks. In neuroscience, learning is defined as a new relationship created between neurons. And remembering what you learn is keeping that relationship alive, which happens only when focused attention is paid to a stimulus. In my case, the flow arts are my stimulus. Shortly after learning basic poi techniques, I experienced a Zen-like moment. I realized that my Suckboy had just given me a physical feedback of what was going on in my mind. The more I fixated on doing it right, the less right it felt. As soon as I let go of my mind's fixation and paid attention to how my body worked, without anxiety or expectations, movement effortlessly flowed out of me. It is after this personal experience that I have come to define the flow arts as creative self-expression. In psychology, this experience of flow would be described as a mental state when an individual transcends conscious thought to reach a heightened state of effortless concentration and calmness. In the summer of 2013, thanks to the encouragement of a friend, I experienced for the first time what it felt like to dance with fire. It was both a supremely beautiful and terrifying experience. Beautiful because dancing with fire comes from a place of self-awareness, not self-destruction, and terrifying because I was the only one in control of the experience. It sounds like life, doesn't it? To me, living a beautiful life means living a life that is filled with what you love and don't want to replace. It is a life that, like dancing with fire, comes from a place of self-awareness, where we are consciously in charge of our experiences. Flow arts make my life beautiful by giving me an opportunity to challenge myself, to solve my inner disharmony and evolve day by day.